A car slams into a Lexington home and police say the car was stolen. We'll talk to a man who was inside the house now at 4. Also, a tanker carrying thousands of gallons of pure grain alcohol crashes, closing a central Kentucky road for hours. We're in Anderson County with the latest on how it happened.
A lot of mid and upper 70s showing up out there right now, but we are going to go through some changes as a front blasts across the Commonwealth. I will track it here in just a few minutes.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 4.
Good afternoon. I'm Jennifer Palumbo. It's a fantastic fall day in the bluegrass with sunshine and temperatures in the 70s. Here's a live look at downtown Lexington, and we're in for some changes. Meteorologist Jim Caldwell has a first look at the forecast. Jim?
Yeah, it is really nice out there today, but we will go through those changes in a couple of different waves. We'll get the early week wave, and then we're going to see another one that comes at us toward the end of the week, which will be the big blast of cool air. And I'm talking about overnight lows really beginning to tank. Let's check on temperatures out there right now. Running, as I mentioned, in the mid 70s, upper 70s are also out there. You go to our west, and they are really nice, into the low 80s across western portions of Kentucky. But notice those clouds, the ones stretching through Louisville and Covington. That's kind of the leading edge of what's coming our way. Part of that, a frontal boundary that will be slipping across the Commonwealth and bringing us a better chance of a few showers out there this evening. It's also going to cause our temperatures to tank as we move into your Tuesday. We'll lose about 10 degrees tomorrow. We won't get it back anytime this week, and then we'll lose another 10 degrees by the end of the week. So it's a tale of two cold fronts, and I will track those cold fronts for you coming up in just a little bit, Jennifer.
Thank you, Jim. A car crashes into a Lexington family's home and the driver takes off. The crash happened about 9:30 this morning on Buckhorn Drive near Alumni. Police say the car was stolen and they want to find the driver. Kristen Kennedy talked to a man who was inside the home at the time. She has our top story at 4.
The majority of the damage that you're seeing inside that home is to a front bedroom. We talked to the family who was inside at the time of this crash. One man says the impact of that wreck pushed him up against a wall.
He went in the closet, I hit the door. By the time we got up and got to see what was going on, you know, he was gone.
He is okay. One person inside the house did have to go to the hospital. Emergency crews say that person had minor injuries. Police tell us the car is a stolen one. The driver of it ran away right after crashing. Officers are looking for that driver. They say there was one passenger in the car, a juvenile who's now in custody. There were several people inside the home at the time of the crash who were not expecting to deal with this kind of mess.
That was my first reaction. Is he okay? You know what I mean? But yeah. He's fine, I'm fine.
Code enforcement will have to come in and determine if the house is structurally safe enough for the family to return to. In Lexington, Kristen Kennedy, WKYT.
The owners of the stolen car say it went missing on the 1st of the month. They saw the car on the news this morning and immediately recognized it, and they're happy to have it back. A central Kentucky road was closed for hours today after a tanker truck carrying alcohol overturned. The semi was traveling from Kansas City to the Wild Turkey Distillery when it crashed just after 7 this morning on Grafenberg Road in Anderson County. It was carrying 6,600 gallons of 191 proof pure grain alcohol. Investigators say the tanker had just gotten off I-64 and was headed toward Lawrenceburg when the driver swerved to miss a car making a U-turn. The tanker dropped off the road and overturned.
There's no shoulders, so it takes very little cause for a tanker to, or any vehicle to get wheels off the side of the road with no shoulder, especially when you're carrying weight of that magnitude and the weight shifts inside a tanker. Then it's very easy for the vehicle to roll at that point, and that's exactly what happened here.
The driver was not hurt. Moments later, there was another crash. State police say the tanker crash caused a septic tanker to swerve into the other lane, hitting a car and sending it into a culvert. That driver was airlifted to UK Hospital but is expected to be okay. We're working on a number of other stories for WKYT starting at 4:30. Amber Philpott joins us from the newsroom with a look at some of the news in progress. Good afternoon, Amber.
Good afternoon to you, Jennifer. We are tracking the investigation into a Southern Kentucky murder. The Pulaski County Sheriff's Office says they found 34-year-old Danny J. Poor shot to death inside a cabin at a Pulaski County park yesterday afternoon. They say he had been killed sometime in the last 24 hours. Deputies tell us they do have some persons of interest that they would like to talk to.
We have 3 people or 4 people of interest that we'd like to talk to that we're seeking at this time.
Deputies say Poor had a Louisville address but was originally from the Monticello area. We'll have the latest on the investigation on WKYT News at 5. And we are learning more today about another bizarre death investigation case out of Southern Kentucky. Teresa Owens is charged with evidence tampering and abuse of a corpse. Last month, Pulaski County Sheriff's deputies say they found her boyfriend, 68-year-old Gary Jenks, in a freezer in the living room of his home. It's still not clear how Jenks died. We'll have more from Owens' preliminary hearing on WKYT News at 4:30. A fast-growing neighborhood is adding a new amenity for families. McConnell's Trace broke ground on a new daycare for the neighborhood this morning. The project includes a few other perks as well, including a pool and a fitness center. They hope that it will also add to the city's entire west corridor. We'll have more details on the construction project on WKYT News at 5. And it is a big week for UK sports, both on the gridiron and the hardwood. The UK football team is gearing up for a rare Thursday night game at Commonwealth Stadium. Remember, there are a lot of parking restrictions for UK employees and students because of the game. The Cats will host the Auburn Tigers on Thursday. Kickoff is set for 7 on ESPN. You'll hear from Coach Stoops about Thursday night's game on WKYT News at 5. And also, the basketball Cats will take the hardwood for Big Blue Madness on Friday night. That is a look at some of the news in progress. Jennifer, back to you.
Thanks, Amber. Now to stories making headlines across the nation at 4. Several presidential candidates are campaigning in New Hampshire on this Columbus Day. Republican frontrunner Donald Trump and Democratic candidate Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders are reaching out to undecided voters in the state. The latest numbers show Sanders leading Hillary Clinton in the polls there. This is ahead of tomorrow's first debate between the Democratic hopefuls. 3 other candidates, Martin O'Malley, Jim Webb, and Lincoln Chafee, will also join Clinton and Sanders on stage. Tensions will be high at Citi Field in Flushing, New York tonight when the Mets resume their playoff series against the Dodgers. The big question is whether the player who knocked the New York Mets shortstop out of the season will be in the game. Adriana Diaz has reaction from fans.
As the playoff series between the New York Mets and the LA Dodgers moves to Citi Field in Queens tonight,
he gets right there.
A controversial slide that broke the leg of shortstop Ruben Tejada is still on fans' minds.
It was a horrible play. It was a dirty play.
I think he wanted the man to fall down so he wouldn't tag him out, but he didn't want to actually hurt him to the point that he had to not play the game.
LA second baseman Chase Utley says he did not intend to injure Tejada and is appealing Major League Baseball's 2-game suspension.
I just based it on what I saw and the fact that, you know, we're trying to have rules that's going to keep these players on the field.
There's been no hearing so far on Utley's appeal, which means he could be eligible to play tonight. While there's a lot of talk of the Mets retaliating at tonight's game, fans we spoke to said they're not so sure that's a good idea.
Sometimes cooler heads have to prevail.
We need to score some runs, and that's the best way of retaliation. Winning the game, winning the series, moving on.
The 5-game series is tied at 1 game apiece. Adriana Diaz, CBS News, Flushing, New York.
Mets pitcher Matt Harvey has indicated he's going to stick up for his teammate tonight. Tech Read starting the week with gains. The Dow up 47 points to close at 17,132. The NASDAQ added 8. Southwest Airlines says it's fixed the ticket glitch that delayed hundreds of flights and had passengers waiting for hours. The Dallas-based company had been warning passengers flying today to arrive at the airport 2 hours early and print boarding passes beforehand. The airline used backup systems to check in travelers who didn't have printed or mobile boarding passes. About 450 of yesterday's 3,600 flights were delayed. Gas prices could be heading back up. Oil prices jumped nearly 10% last week. New data shows the U.S. is slowing down production. There's also concern about the fighting in Syria. Some experts say oil prices have bottomed out after plunging by nearly 50% in the past year. And those lower prices likely mean no cost of living increase next year for Social Security recipients, disabled vets, and federal retirees. It would be only the third time in 40 years that's happened. Cost of living increases are tied to inflation, which is being kept down by the low cost of gas. Sprint will soon make unlimited data more expensive. Starting this Friday, new customers will pay $70. That's up from $60. Sprint and T-Mobile are the only two national carriers still offering unlimited plans. General Motors is introducing a program in New York to compete with Zipcar and Uber. People living at a Times Square high-rise will be the first to test out the automaker's new car-sharing program. Let's Drive NYC will give users the first 3 hours of driving free each month. After that, users will pay less than $10 an hour and up to $75 for a 24-hour reservation. Get your bell bottoms out and your boogie shoes on. It's time for the 3rd annual Bell Bottom Boogie Bash.
And of course, none other than Deanne Stevens is out and about with the preview of it. Hey, Deanne.
We are here at the Signature Club. Can you hear it? We are signed, sealed, and delivered. We are ready for the 3rd annual Bell Bottom Boogie Bash. Cassie Sloan is with us, Foster Care Council of Kentucky. And you guys, from what I hear, put on this fabulous party, and it's happening this weekend.
This weekend, from 6 to 10 at the Signature Club. We're so excited. This is our 3rd annual, and it's growing every year. So put on your favorite 70s outfit and come.
You don't wear that every day, honey?
Yeah, well, you know, sometimes.
It looks great. It looks great. So things are kicking off when?
Saturday, 6 o'clock, 6 to 10.
Okay, and the Foster Care Council, what exactly do you guys do?
We do our best to enrich the lives of the children that are placed in the foster home. We provide funding for enrichment activities, sports, and we also do our best to educate the children by tutoring them, individualized tutoring. They're our future. You know, these children are the future of our community. So there's more children every year going into the foster care system. So we need to enrich and educate these children's lives.
So many great things that you guys are doing. NECO is also a sponsor of this weekend's event. What does NECO do, Nicole?
NECO provides therapeutic foster care homes to the kids that are taken out of the bio home and put into Kentucky State's care. So we provide those homes, therapeutic services, things like that.
Foster Care Council works with you guys. Talk about the incredible work that they're doing and why events like this really help you all out.
The Foster Care Council is extremely important because they're able to provide tutoring for our children, pay for after-school activities, things that these children have never been able to do. A lot of our children are behind in school, so without the tutoring that they provide, they would continue to be behind. So it's extremely, extremely beneficial to us.
All right, well, you too can make a difference. Get your bell bottoms out, people, and come be a part of the Boogie Bash happening right here at the Signature Club. Silent auction, dinner, dancing, and all kinds of fun. How do they get tickets, Cassie?
Go to thefostercarecouncil.com. and you can purchase tickets there, or you can call me. My cell phone is always available, 239-248-7699.
All right, come be a part of the fun happening this Saturday. I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about. We're getting our boogie on. We'll see you back at about 4:50. Back to you guys.
It's time for Better Living, health, education, and consumer news that impacts your life. A new study finds lithium is safe and effective for treating children with bipolar disorder. The medication is commonly used by adults to control abnormal mood swings. Research in the journal Pediatrics focused on patients between the ages of 7 and 17. It found lithium is safe for that age group, at least for the short term. When people end up in the emergency room because of a fall, new research finds an underlying infection is often the cause, not clumsiness. A study at Massachusetts General Hospital finds infections can cause low blood pressure, leading to lightheadedness or dizziness. Infections may be the culprit in as many as 45% of falls, especially in older people. People recovering from heart attacks are nearly 3 times more likely to suffer from depression. That can increase their risk of another episode. A study in the European Heart Journal finds patients who exercise and quit smoking may have the greatest chance of improving their depression. Standing desks are becoming popular at work as more employees choose to stay on their feet. And now that trend is moving from the office to the classroom. Maria Villarreal found an elementary school that will soon be the first in the country to have standing desks.
And we're going to lunge down.
At Vallecito Elementary School in San Rafael, California, motivating students to move is more than just their morning routine. It's an all-day commitment that starts with these standing desks.
How does it help you focus?
It burns off lots of my energy so I can concentrate without wiggling around like in the chairs.
19 of Vallecito's 22 classrooms have standing desks. The last 3 will be converted by the end of the year. Studies show allowing kids to move during the day can improve grades up to 15% and helps kids burn up to 25% more calories.
You increase your muscle tone in your legs. There seems to be an improvement in actually circulation and arterial function. And of course, expending a few calories extra every hour can lead to big changes.
But those big changes can come with a big price tag. It can cost up to $6,000 to convert a single classroom.
We definitely have our work cut out for us.
Juliet Starrett, who started the program at Vallecito, hopes to keep her movement going. She started Stand Up Kids, an organization working with corporate and individual donors to raise money.
Our mission is to get every kid in public school standing in 10 years.
Mireya Villarreal, San Rafael, California.